Thanks so much, Eve, for that brilliant introduction that you made me write myself. I'm Zach, and I'll be talking about lessons learned from Mac students, class of 21. So who is this guy? As he said, this dashing young lad is Zach, and his previous institution that won't be mentioned because they're not writing us a check. He went there and he didn't really get the chance to interact with some of his fellow alumni, but at Red and Yellow things are different, and he got the chance to interact with all of these naughty boys and girls here that I'm looking at, and he learned quite a lot from them. I've been limited to 9 lessons because this is streaming on YouTube and community guidelines. I can't talk about everything I learned from you lot, unfortunately. So I'll start here. Find your insight, and I learned this from Elaine. So basically, at Red and Yellow, we are taught that nothing is by accident, by mistake, or chance. It's all very strategic, and it has to come off an insight. I'm sure you guys know what that is. That's a golden nugget. There we go. You guys all know about golden nuggets. And basically, luck doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Everything that we say or do, 100% has to come from a common truth, an underlying connection that we can make with our desired target audience. And basically, Elaine was an absolute beast at finding these insights. She would always tell us, dig deeper, come on, I need more from you guys. I need something like we need to go to Di, we need to come in heavy. You know she's gonna turn us down the first 2 times. So let's just build up 4 or 5 of these things just to pitch at her in quick fire. And basically, it was very difficult, especially when you suffer from rejection fatigue after the 10th idea, and Elaine's like, that's not it, my guy. Just, no, you know what I mean? But basically, we'd always come up with a brilliant idea because she would always scrutinize us, she would always probe us, she would always tell us, you know what I mean, I need more from you. And basically, why that tobacco is there is because these golden nuggets exist at the bottom of these tobacco packets, I'm convinced. Because after a cheeky smoke break, Elaine would come back and she would just knock out one and just be like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the lesson here is, because I have to add value to you guys' life, you guys are entering the big world, the lesson here is that in your life, find the golden nugget, find your insight, find out about yourself, and put the same effort and time that Elaine would put into finding an insight and find your one. Also, another thing about me, I'm bad at transitions and segues. So, we're just going to go into the next slide. And then there's this guy. So, Tariq is a very, very interesting character. I had the privilege of being paired with him for Brand Challenge. And if you don't know what Brand Challenge is, like a lot of you don't know at home, it's basically the marketing equivalent of Hell's Kitchen. So, you know the vibes, you guys all know the vibes, but basically, so I would always be on the end, when we brainstorm in the morning, I'd always be on the end of Tariq's caffeine-fueled ambitions, and you would always I would be like a sounding board, basically, for his ideas. And these were some of the ideas, as you guys can see, very interesting. And you'd ask me, Zach, don't you feel like being president? Zach, why can't you be president? Because I don't have a little loan of $1 million. I can't be president. You'd ask me, why can't you date a Kardashian? I'm not a generational talent. I can't. I didn't make Donda. However, on closer inspection, what I did realize is that he didn't apply a ceiling to life, and he kept on asking why I couldn't do something. And when I thought about it, I have 2 things in common with these people. I'm flesh and bones, just like they are, and I put my pants on 1 leg at a time, just like they do. So therefore, if Kanye West could get Kim Kardashian, I can completely do it. 100% back myself. Guys, there's 3 other sisters, back yourselves. Like, big vibes, big energy, you know what I mean? Then there's this guy. Oh my word, what a bull, eh? So then there's this guy. His name's Ryan Good. I like to call him Ryan Great, because good just isn't good enough. And basically the lesson from Ryan is to not be quiet. So Ryan's known for two things. His pristine, well-kept 1984 mullet. And his loud voice. Interesting fact, the only time that I've ever taken something away from what Ryan said was today. So he's spoken a lot through this year, and it's been very loud. It's been extremely audible. It's been absolute nonsense. I got some. So Ryan is our class-appointed class captain. I mean, self-appointed class captain. Only through Tuesdays through Thursday though. Mondays and Fridays is a no-go. You're gonna have to sort yourself out on those days, guys. But basically, I asked Ryan for some tips on presenting because he's amazing at speaking. And basically, what you say, not important, neither here nor there. How you say it, be loud, loud and proud, baby. Deep, never, just hot. Yeah, but basically one thing that the takeaway from Ryan is that he has this presence, and whether you knew what he was saying or not, whether it stuck or not, one thing that did stick was his presence. And you always knew when he was in a room, you always knew when he was about to speak. And when he was not here, close your ears, Ryan, because it's going to just inflate his ego, but when he was not here, you definitely knew. You 100% knew when he was not here. And the advice that I have to you guys is to make your presence felt in every room. Walk into that room, completely own the space. The stage was not big enough for Ryan. He did make some formal complaints to die. But yeah, walk into every space, own it the same way Ryan owned this space. Yeah, so bad at segues again. This next one, my queens, Megan Askus and Charlotte Cohen. And the lesson here is watch what you say. So I'll start with Meg. Absolute gem, stunning, extremely beautiful, and she didn't pay me to say it. But the lesson, or I learned this lesson, and guys, I want you to really listen up. This is, it's such a good one. So basically what happened, I came into campus the one morning, and in typical Zachary form, I found Meg at doing the protocols as an upstanding citizen that she is, signing in. And I looked at her and I said, Meg, you look tired. And if some of you haven't tripped over it, a jaw just dropped in the passage, in the entryway. So it still could be, there could be fragments there. Is it absolutely? And she's like, Zach, has no one told you you can't tell a woman that she looks tired? A rookie mistake, I know. And I'm 250 compliments away from making up for that one bad morning. Yeah. And then the second one is Charlotte Cohen. So at Red and Yellow, we do have this lovely thing called a peer review system. And the peer review system is completely fine because it's metrics and it's numbers. The problem with it is this little text box section that exists. Yeah, so I don't let my emotions get the better of me, because if I did, I'd probably be crying by now. But I was placed with Charlotte in a group, and to say that I left a spirited review would be underselling it. However, I did leave a spirited review, which would have been fine, which would have been completely fine. However, Dan Melissa had other plans, and they released the review that they said it was for personal growth. However, my personal opinion was they were trying to start a bare knuckle Mac 2021 fight club. You know what? And my reception of Charlotte changed. It became colder. I didn't understand why. However, when I did figure it out, I was more than willing to deal with the repercussions of my spirited typing. However, Di and Melissa were not done playing chess, and they placed us in brand challenge together. So we ended up winning brand challenge, and me and Charlotte, as you can see, have gone on to make up. And wedding loading, guys, completely. Wedding completely loading. I'm absolutely, I've grown to love Charlotte and respect a great deal. And with that being said, I just have to make this disclaimer. I have been notified that potential hiring managers and employees are watching. So Charlotte Cohen absolute gem, complete machine. You know what I mean? Will handle any project you put her on, will just completely kill it. You definitely need it in your team, an asset to any team and any company she joins. I just had to. You know what I mean? I had to back my goal. But basically the lesson here is, with Meg and Charlotte, I had the opportunity to correct the things that I said. And in life, you might not be afforded that luxury. So be mindful of what you say, how you say it, not only on other people's lives, but your own life as well. Be mindful of what you think. What you think is what you become. You know, what you say is what you become. So be careful, be mindful. And with any further ado, this guy. So as you can see, Mr. Bekele issue spunk, eh? So, yeah, this guy's definitely Mr. Popularity. And as you can see, a face that lights up any room. He's kind of small, on the smaller end, not that muscular. But the lesson here is to be as confident as TK. So, TK, part-time Mac student, full-time model, has graced the covers of Men's Health. You know what I mean? He has. I have the proof. And basically, the takeaway from TK is that you have to be confident in yourself, in your ability. TK completely backs himself. I remember being placed in a group with TK, and I do this thing with every group that I'm part of, where I tell us, like, guys, we're the strongest group here. Like, I don't really always think that, but it gets everybody going, you know what I mean? It instills confidence, you know, that's what great leaders do, they motivate. And I've done it with TK, and TK looks at me and he says, I know, doggy. And he 100% believed that. And the group I was in with him, we did go on to do great things. But that's how TK, like, he tackles any room. And he's just absolutely, like, he stands out, he's confident. I asked him about his confidence because I am supposed to do research on these topics. I didn't just trust my knowledge by itself. So I did ask him, and I asked him about his confidence, and he quoted Denzel Washington, and he said, when you fall forward, because when you start over, you don't start on zero. You start on experience. And then it dawned on me the reason that I was not confident was because I was focused on failure, whereas he embraced failure as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to be better than you was previously. So I want to tell you guys, be confident, back yourself. After this, you are going to have a MAC qualification. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. So go into that world and be, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, so there's a lot of sports fanatics. I do, you know what I mean? I don't really watch rugby, but I like this guy. So my next lesson is don't just participate, but compete. And it's from Nana, spelled correctly, and Suze. So before I go to the next slide, guys, in our class, we have a very diverse background of people. As you all saw, Eve Saz, ex-rugby player, professional career, Jordan, rugby player. We have boys from some of the top boys' school in our presence, you know what I mean? Michael House, Bishops, all that. Very competitive nature and spirit going on in this class. It's very, very influencers, competing for likes and impressions. People are competing for jobs. It's cutthroat here. However, the two most competitive, these two. Now I know what everyone at home is thinking, how? They look so sweet and friendly and welcoming. I mean, she's drinking champers. You know what I'm saying? Like, total vibes. And I know some of you guys are confused as well because everyone adores Nana and Suzanne. I was in a group with them, and can I just tell you that they wanted to own each and every one of you. It was that they were not playing. They wanted to completely destroy each and every one of you. We did though. We did. I mean, I'm not gonna shout down. We completely busted. We did. But basically, what I learned from Nana and Suzanne, they redefined what competing meant and what winning meant. So winning usually refers to beating someone, right? And competing for me, what they defined it was, competing means like scrutinizing yourself, holding your team members and yourself accountable to a higher standard, It means attacking every project with a certain passion and enthusiasm, and you did the previous one. It means completely getting involved. It means not doing your prezo the morning of. Guys, the morning of, it means not doing your prezo. It means getting your prezo slides to Nana and Suzanne 2 days, which is unheard of for me and my slacking ways. 2 days before. 2 days before. So much room for activities 2 days before. There's no way. There's no way. You know what I mean? 2 days before was just... But I was quickly whipped into form. And what I realized with competing, I realized that the amount of hard work that goes into being better, and to be like Nana and Suzanne are top students, and I realized the amount of work that goes into doing something like this. When we see people who are talented, we oftentimes like to credit to, oh, well, they're just smart, or, they're just extremely talented, or they're just good at something. I'd like to tell you that it's not the case. They do work hard. They slave drivers a bit in the group chat. They're very concerned about things coming in on time and stuff. I got a couple of cheeky eye rolls when I said my work was not done. A couple of cold shoulders, but we move. And one thing I want to tell you guys is that do the same. Don't just show up and want to complete things and move on. Actually compete and put yourself out there. Like, it's nice to compete. Don't focus on winning or losing, but focus on being the best versions of yourself. You don't need to compete against anyone, but compete with yourself and being better. You all know the feeling of like when you leave things out there. It doesn't feel nice when you feel you could have gone harder. You know what I mean? I don't know how Ryan wakes up and he doesn't feel like he could have got a better haircut, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? So, this next speaker, very dear and near to my heart, that's Lauren now. That's the two of us together in a photo, as you can see. Beautiful stuff. And the lesson I learned from Lauren is to go fast. So, me and Lauren share a passion, and that passion is running. As you can tell, I am an athlete. A well-oiled machine, this one, a well-oiled machine. So, I'm fast. Like, I like to think of myself as fast. I'm not going to swear, but Lauren's freaking fast, guys. Two runners, Lauren recently completed a 21K in 1 hour and 41 minutes. Yeah, it's insane. To all the non-athletes out there, I'm going to break it down. Lauren runs quicker than the Granddaddy Hotel filled with red and yellow students on a first Thursday night. So you guys know it's fast. You know what I'm saying? You guys know how quick that gets. So, and basically, I was in a group with Lauren, and what I learned from Lauren was to move fast. So Lauren walks fast, talks fast, works fast, is an absolute machine, and she just has this momentum in her life that's absolutely ridiculous, and it's crazy. And Lauren refused to be let down by her emotions, by anything that would potentially stand in my way. I'd be like, I don't feel like doing something, you know what I mean? And Lauren would completely just knock out things, no matter how tired she was, no matter what was happening with her. She's just so disciplined and so good at completely getting things done. She gets shit done, that's what I tell her all the time. And basically what I learned from Lauren is that in life, you just have to get shit done. You can't let things be perfect because they're not always going to be perfect. There were a couple of times, Lauren's not going to be happy with me, but there were a couple of times we pitched really shit ideas to you, Melissa, and we knew they were shit, but we figured if we make them pretty enough on Canva, you know what I mean? just add some color. We knew, like, look, we can buy some time here, guys. Like, we knew this is not going to sell, but, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And what I learned from her was that if you work fast enough, you have time to correct things. So, go fast. Don't let anything stop you. Have this momentum in life. Momentum is really important. As you go on, you will gain traction. You will figure it out. But I think that speed and in the right path, nothing can stop you. And Lauren proved that. Oh, this guy, 1 in a million, complete enigma. My word, what a man, what a man. You thought I was going to let you off easy. There's no way. So basically, this is Eve, Dr. Eve. And what I learned from Eve is to never ever box yourself in. So as you can see here, these are two very, contradictory images. As you can see, in Eve's past life, he was a rugby player. Eve's now gone on to do so many more things. Aspiring author, started a side hustle, side venture with a sandwich man. He's also friends to Mike Abel. He's a complete renaissance man. He sang for us yesterday. If you weren't here, you missed it, unfortunately. I don't know if he's singing today. He did charge red and yellow, so I think they're still going back and forth with the rates. But basically, what I learned from Eve, just interacting with him throughout the year, Eve refuses to be one way, and he refuses to limit himself. I swear every brand challenge, Eve gets a new skill. The previous brand challenge, he was a voiceover artist. This brand challenge, they didn't have a copywriter. Eve was like, no problem, I copyright. I think it was his first time copywriting, but he's just like, I'll get involved. And he refuses to be limited, and he refuses to be bound. And I do believe that his first soiree copywriting, his copywriting was really like credited, and they rated him very highly. You know what I mean? So it just shows you that sometimes you do need to step out your comfort zone. You'd be surprised what you're good at. As you can see there, Eve is getting his first petty. So he just refuses, you know what I mean, to be bound by anything and anyone. I spoke to him and I asked him, and he said, Zach, I don't care what people think about me. I like having nice nails. I like the soft life. I like looking good. I like feeling good. If that means wearing a shirt that you think doesn't fit me, I'm all fine with that. I don't care about the scrutiny that comes along with it. Don't worry about it. And he absolutely refuses. He's a renaissance man of note. And I just want you guys to also adopt that Eveness or that Eve ability to just not be bound and to just almost any insult that you throw this man's way, I swear, he just smiles and he comes back with an even worse insult toward you. So just be exactly like Eve and don't box yourself in. The world will try and, you know what I mean, box you in, but don't do that to yourself. And so the last guy, I could not speak about this here without speaking about him. So this guy is NJ, and the lesson here is to hustle hard. So NJ is a influencer. So NJ, yeah, complete machine as well, networking machine that is. Guys, I swear to you, no matter which guest speaker came to speak to us, it could be funeral policies, life insurance, tech company, NJ would stand up and say, have you guys considered influencer marketing? And it was kind of amusing at first, but the lesson here is that, guys, you have to hustle. There's no use being the best thing that no one's heard about. And you have to put yourself out there. You have to completely expand your network, consistently tell people what you do, what you're about. So NJ's thing was being an influencer. And I bet you, if one of us are ever in a boardroom and they say, you know, we've been considering influencer marketing, we would know exactly who to call. And that's the power of hustling hard and being associated with something. So associate yourself with something that you're really good at, that you want to do, and then hustle and tell people about it relentlessly, annoyingly. Send your workout videos in the class group chat. That's purely academic. Please do that. Do not stop. With all of that being said, I'd like to close off by saying that this Mac Live talk, some of the future leading strategists, crypto millionaires, account managers, people who are going to go on to do great things, you've just received early access to them, and you've had a couple of talks from them, and I've given you some lessons that I've learned from them. I hope you take away the same wealth and richness that I've taken away from them. And with that being said, Mac 2021 out.